Neighbors throughout the Twin Cities came out in full force to celebrate National Night Out last night. But in Minneapolis, there was a more somber tone.
Yeah, the community, of course, grappling with the death of Justine Damon, the Australian bride-to-be who was fatally shot by a police officer. Melissa Colorado is joining us now with more on how the city's acting police chief is trying to regain trust from the community. Hi, Melissa.
Hi there, Kim. Yesterday, the city's acting police chief stopped by several block parties in an effort to rebuild the strained relationship between Minneapolis police and the people they serve. But earlier in the day, Arredondo was at City Hall, where a city council committee unanimously approved his nomination. Later, we caught up with him at a National Night Out block party in the Phillips neighborhood. Arredondo greeted neighbors and heard from residents who offered their support as well as their criticism. Arredondo has been an officer with MPD for close to 30 years, and critics have said even though Arredondo would become the city's first black police chief, his ties to the department are too strong to implement real change. Now here's what the acting police chief had to say about that.
Whether it's conflict, whether it's tension, whether it's angst, people are generally, when they're talking to me tonight even, it's coming from a place where they want us and want to work with us to get better. So I look at that as an opportunity and a positive opportunity.
And if you live in Minneapolis, next Wednesday, you will get a chance to weigh in on the acting police chief during a public hearing. Then the city council will make a final decision on whether Arredondo gets the permanent position on August 18th. Lauren?
Thanks, Melissa. New fallout this morning from President Trump's recent message to police, urging them to not be, quote, too nice when transporting suspects. The acting head of the Drug Enforcement Agency told his agents to reject the president's message. Instead, Chuck Rosenberg is reminding agents they must always act honorably. The White House is unapologetic, dismissing the criticism.
It wasn't a directive, it was a joke. There's a very big difference.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions promised to prosecute officers who use excessive force.
All it takes is for one bad officer to destroy the reputations of so many who work every day to build good relationships in these communities.
The president's off-the-cuff comments, police chiefs warn, detract from their legitimacy and trust in their communities. The Senate has voted overwhelmingly to confirm Christopher Wray as the new director of the FBI. Wray, a former Justice Department official under President George W. Bush, takes over the bureau following the abrupt firing of James Comey, who was leading the investigation into possible connections between the president's campaign and Russia. The White House denying the report in the Washington Post that claimed President Trump dictated the statement Don Jr. released after it was revealed that he met with a Russian lawyer in 2016. The White House says the president did weigh in, but only as any father would do. Kim?
Thank you, Lauren. Here in the Metro, the man accused of killing a woman in Mendota Heights did not enter a plea at his first court appearance yesterday. The Dakota County attorney charged Lucifer Nguyen with several counts, including second-degree murder. Investigators say Nguyen killed Beverly Corey, then took her car after an earlier robbery. Nguyen was arrested Monday night. An incredible video we showed you yesterday of Minneapolis police rescuing two people who were trapped in a burning car on I-94. Officers Crystal Fallon and Ryan Davis, whom you saw in the video, say they knew they only had a matter of seconds here.
Couldn't immediately tell how to get her out of the vehicle, so I ran around to the driver's side rear passenger door.
When we were pulling them out, I had in my head we had about 45 seconds, just the timer in my head going to get him out before he would be on fire, the car would have exploded.
Well, they did succeed with the help of some good Samaritans who took the officers' knives and cut the seat belts as officers were pulling out the driver.
I would want someone to do that for me or my daughters if we were in that situation and, put their life on the line to save my kids.
The driver, unfortunately, did not survive that situation. His fiancée did, and she cried as she thanked the officers for trying.
Gosh, what bravery. This morning, a major change for commuters crossing between Minnesota and Wisconsin. A new bridge over the St. Croix River will open, replacing the Stillwater Lift Bridge. Ellery McCardle joins us from the new bridge. And Ellery, it's really changed the look of that part of the river.
Yeah, it sure has, Lauren. You really can't miss it when you're driving or boating along the St. Croix River. MnDOT expects there to be a lot more traffic over this bridge versus the current lift bridge. It expects about 30,000 cars and trucks to pass it every single day. So tonight in downtown Stillwater, that's where more action is happening. MnDOT will close the current lift bridge to traffic, and then it will turn it into a pedestrian and bike crossing. The mayor tells me they're going to paint it back to its original color, green, which is something a lot of people haven't seen. And there's hope that this bridge shift will help the local economy.
It's going to be a lot easier to drive around town. It's going to be a lot easier to find parking. It'll be a lot easier to walk from one end of Main Street to the other without kind of that wall of traffic separating, either end of town.
Now, the riverfront is expected to be packed tonight in downtown Stillwater, and coming up next half hour, we'll let you know what you can expect to see there tonight. Back to you.
Ellery, thanks.
Well, this morning in most of North Dakota, even a little rain would be welcome. About half of the state is in extreme to severe drought. You can see behind me. It's so bad, cattle producers are running out of hay. The state agriculture department and the North Dakota State University have teamed up for a hay drive so farmers can feed their livestock. There are fears prices could go up at the grocery store because of the drought. Probably been hearing a little bit more about that. I know I heard on NPR several weeks ago that a lot of farmers from all over the Midwest have been sending hay actually to portions of the Dakotas because it's getting so bad in some of those areas. Good news is that area is seeing some rain this morning in some of those spots being stricken by that drought.
Good news.
And that moisture all headed our direction. Minnesota's been a lot more hit and miss this season. Some places getting a lot, some not.
Yeah,
nearly.
we've had a few downpours, but then stretches where it's been really dry too.